everybody, it is me, Lily from A Crafty Life, and today I'm doing part 2 of the All of My American Girl book series. This part is all on Girl of the Year. Be sure to go check out part 1 when you're done this one, or if you've already seen it, great. And be sure to check out part 3 as well when you're done this one to be able to know more about my doll collection. So without further ado, let's start. We'll start from my oldest Girl of the Year, and then we'll go to my most recent one. I do have Chris's first book. It was good. I mean, I did watch the movie first, but this was a bit more detailed, but I wouldn't buy this separately because the movie's on YouTube for free, but it did come with my Chris doll, so it was still a fun read, but it wasn't a book that I needed to read. It was a bit more detailed though than the movie, but it was a good book, and Chris has a good story overall. I really like Gwen's story as well. I kind of wish Gwen had her own book series because I feel like that would be really interesting to read about. Next I have Kanani. Her books were okay. I mean, Saving the Monk Seal was really cool, but also I kind of wish they had another story idea, but it was still really good, and this was old American Girl, so it's kind of cool to watch them and read those books from then and then read again from a Jaws perspective and see how much more detail they have. But these books were good. I feel like they did suit Kanani, but also I wish Kanani's story was more. But these were good books. They were fun reads. Her story just though wasn't that depth or in-depth for me. But that's maybe because I'm an older American Girl player or collector than someone who's maybe 8 or 9. Sage's book, I only have one. It was okay. I mean, I found it at a thrift store, but I wouldn't buy it. It was just nothing super special. I did like how she wanted to start the art program at her school, but again, the story just wasn't that deep for me personally. But it was an okay book, and it was worth the $3 I bought at the thrift store. I did want a bit more about Sage, but again, it wasn't my favorite, and it would never be, I don't think. I do have the first book in Isabel's collection. I did find it was the first book from Sage's collection at the same store for $3. I mean, I knew nothing about Isabel, but again, her story was so bland. I wish they'd spice it up, maybe by having a problem, or just something more interesting, maybe a school election of some sort, or I know she liked to dance, a dancing club, or just something more interesting. But I can't go back and rewrite the story, but again, I wouldn't recommend buying it for $20 off eBay or whatever. But if you did see it at a thrift store, I feel it's a good read. All of them are good because that's an American Girl doll, and that's always going to be the Girl of the Year from 2014. So yeah. Grace's first book was good, not my favorite again. 13, 14, and 15, they just weren't my favorite. I love her story, and I'm obsessed with her collection. Her pastry cart is adorable. Check out the review on my channel. But this is a book that came with Grace. I did see her movie, and that was way better, and it was free on YouTube as well. But I mean, this was good to read with Grace, and it was cool if I didn't know about the movie. But again, it just wasn't my favorite. But I do like her story. I do like that she's a baker, and I like everything about her, but this book just wasn't my favorite. I do like Mary Casanova, though, because she did write the Crystal books. I do have Luciana's whole book collection, at least I think I do. Her books were so good. I mean, I'm not into space or anything, but I just thought they were so good. And I loved the little part about Isadora and how her family was Chilean, and I just think she's a really pretty doll. And I liked when she went to the underwater space thing. I recommend reading her books. I'm not sure if they're on YouTube because they might be hard to find now that she's 2 years old, almost 3. But if you can find her books, they are a really good read. Next, I have all Blair's books. There's only 2. I wish there were 3. Her books were okay. I mean, her restaurant is pretty cool as a piece, and it was cool to learn about it. And the B&B I liked, and I liked the wedding. But again, there wasn't a big dilemma or whatever. There wasn't Luciana's when she was feeling sick or whatever. I don't know. I give it about an 8.5 out of 10. They're not the worst. They are good, like they do suit Blair, but I just sort of wish there was a bigger story behind it. But I do like how she was lactose intolerant, but still. I do have both of Joss's books. They were good. I mean, again, they're not my favorite because I feel like there's so many dolls that surf. I'm not sure if it was Leah, but I believe it was Leah. Kanani went to the beach a lot, and I feel like it was paddleboarding maybe. I don't really remember. And I know that Kaylee was something to do with beaches, I believe. But again, like I like how they're bringing it back, but I kind of wish maybe she would like maybe sailing or fishing or something more different a little bit. I do like the cheer part. I think that's really cool. And I do like how she was deaf, but still, it's just, could they be a bit more creative, even with something like fishing or like scuba diving or just something a tiny bit different than 3 or 4 other girls as the year has passed. That is it for my Girl of the Year collection. I have 13 Girl of the Year books. The Girl of the Year books, again, on average, I did get a 4 out of 5 because some of them were really good, being Krissa and Luciana, but a lot of them were just sort of like not the best. So actually maybe like a 3 out of 5 would suit it better, but feel free to think whatever you want to think, but that's just my opinion.